Well, it is now day 3 and it's gone on about 5 o'clock. I've got about a 2.5 kilometre walk in the dark. Big drop off to my right. Fall off that and you're at Gomberger. A message to Andy on the inReach just to say, well, you can read it for yourself. I'm checking in if everything was okay. Oh, welcome to day 3. This is quite a nice morning. And I've left camp probably 2.5 kilometres back that way and walked here in the dark, and I've just been sitting here waiting for it to lighten up before I just push over a tiny bit further to this little bit of a ledge just there and glass down into a series of bush faces. And I've got to be careful that this wind, it's kind of coming up and over here, over my shoulder, sort of like on my right hand shoulder, but slightly on my back, so I have to be very careful that it doesn't drop it into this catchment. As I glassed the bush faces before the first rays of light hit them, I was surprised not to pick out any deer feeding. After all, the conditions were ideal. It had been a cold night, the sun was coming up and the wind was good. What I'm doing at the moment is I've worked my way around from the face up here, and I'm moving about every 20 metres and then just glassing and glassing. And maybe every 100 metres I'll sit down and just really thoroughly glass all the slightly different angles that open up as you sort of like manoeuvre around. But eventually an angle opened up, allowing me to glass right into a stand of wattle with thin strips of grass right through the middle of it. A stag materialised and fed his way slowly, picking at the new growth coming through. I could immediately tell he was a mature stag worth closer inspection. I can either have a shot from here, which is 450 metres, which is far too far for me, the 3006, or I can try and close the distance, which is what I'm probably going to do. So stand by. Right, for that stag I'm going to do a big loop back up into where I came from and try to get a totally different angle down on that same face. I hope I'm not making a wrong decision here, but I'm just not shooting at long range, you know. It's not my buzz. Well, Andre, I probably now know what it feels like. You have had to live with your decision to not take the shot at that big stag that we seen a bit further over last year at 480 metres, so that's 520 yards, 530 yards, and I didn't want to take my shot at 450 metres, which is nearly 500 yards. I know you've had to live with that decision, and I feel like I might be living with the decision for the next year as well. But I'm going to basically just stay right here. I'm going to sleep and do sweet stuff all until last light, and then I'll again methodically work all the different angles till I open up country, because that's what happened. Before I'd been saying I was going to keep moving every 10 metres glass and then every 100 metres would sit down. Well, I moved around to almost as far as I could get, and boom, picked up the stag, just feeding in a little small grain gut with wattle surrounding him, and he wasn't far from cover. In fact, he only fed in the open for a couple of minutes, and then he fed into the wattle, and he's basically moved up into the thicker stuff, and he'll be bedding down. So I might do the same. No point moving around. Yeah, I'm a bit of a sleep. Meanwhile,
Back at camp, Andy was packing food and water for a long recovery mission to his trophy stag taken in the evening of day 2. He made several failed attempts at descending to his stag, encountering bluffs and dangerously steep ledges that made him turn back and look for an alternative route. Andy was receiving a perfectly suitable initiation in this unforgiving terrain. After all, we sambar hunters should not want the experience to be easy, and in fact, it's when the animal is hard-earned that we fully appreciate and cherish the hunt that much more.
I have just spent the last 2.5 hours bashing my way through this hot bush. It's been rather grueling. I'm thirsty, but I've only got about 2 litres of water, so I'm just trying to be conservative. I know I've got ice above me, a couple hundred metres above, so... But, guess what? I've found him. He is just down there. This has been honestly a lifelong dream. I've spent the last 4 months prepping myself with gear for this moment. I can't explain how excited I am. I'm going to make my way down there, alright? Oh my god! Look at him! Oh! He's amazing! He is humongous! Oh my god! Wow! Wow!
I would love to have shared Andy's moment with his fine stag, but I was 100% focused on creating some memories of my own, and as I woke to the pinching of angry ants, I was greeted with a pleasant surprise. Another stag fed into view, and I watched him bed down only a couple of 100 metres further away and higher from where I'd seen the bigger stag in the morning.
Turns out that stag that I just saw bed down is, I believe, a different stag to the one I saw this morning. He's only carrying, I reckon, 23 inches in length, and he doesn't really have many ears on top. There's top times a week, so that's fine. I'm going to sit it out. I'm in a beautiful ledge, you can see all this bush beside me here, including a wonderful gully of wattle that's blooming, and there's a couple of I saw a little scrape pad and what looked to be an attempt at a wallow, but the soil's not quite wet enough, but they've been rolling in it about the size of a small bedroom. This will be a magnificent face on last light. I think that's what this is going to be. Just sit and wait.
But I still felt his inner top times were weak, and I didn't have a strong urge to kill him, feeling that he may benefit from another year of growth. After all, if you have to talk yourself into taking an animal, then you should probably listen to your gut instinct and hold off. And despite having reviewed the footage post-trip, where I now believe he is at least 26 or 27 inches in length, I am still happy with my decision.
Well, that stag got up out of its bed and has moved off. So I'm going to have a look at the time and see if I want to change angles. Well, I've run out of water and I've been thirsty for like the last hour, so I've sidled out of that face that I was glassing into a southern face to get some more water, which I'm just going to basically use this stuff here and place it on, and then I'll put it on my back so it gets the raw exposed sun. Actually, that's the thing to be really wary of when you're in the high country in Australia, is access to water, and that's something that I've learnt the hard way. Well, that wind has done the unthinkable. It's just totally changed direction and come southerly, so I can feel it just pouring down into there, which is a real piss off. So that means that I might look at making a move, find somewhere that doesn't have the wind going straight down into where I'm looking. That other stag hasn't come back out, but that's okay. I'm not very confident that waiting it out till dark is going to be the best use of my time. Alright, last angle. I'll climb back up to the top of this lookout point. Look at this for a view. It just drops away there. Bit uneasy, that's just a vertical face. So I can maybe see something walking underneath. It's a bit of a game trail that hugs the bluff at the base. There's this little snake. These ones are edible ones. It'll take me an hour to get back to the camp, so 8:30 by the time I get there, I'd say. I've had worse days. Today hasn't actually been too bad in terms of effort. We've clocked up a few kilometres, but it's been pretty good going. I know some people might think that's a long day to not get anything and question, you're out looking for sambar, why didn't you take one? You clearly had a stag but I'm comfortable with my decision, and the biggest stag that I saw this morning never showed back up, and I didn't feel comfortable with a 460 metre 500 yard shot, so I simply decided not to take it and hoped to get closer. Got in a bit closer and then caught up with a different stag, which was only about 23 inches, 22 inches maybe, and I'm comfortable with that decision. It's going to be there for next time. Come on, camp must be somewhere here. Oh, here we go. I can hear camp. I can smell camp. Looking forward to some stag fillets, that's for sure. How are you, brother? Oh, show me this. How are you? Good, mate. Whew. Let's have a look. Mate, that's a cracker. Get in behind that. I reckon that's easy 27. Mate, that's a cracker. What does that head mean to you, mate?
I think I started hunting when I was, I got when I was 9 on the farm, so I don't know, 31 years of waiting.
Yeah, working towards that.
Yeah, and the last 12 months, just, yeah, mate, couldn't have asked for it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
You've been visioning this, eh?
Yeah, I've been playing it through my mind for ages, mate. Every night going to sleep the last 6 months, it's been about sambar. I'm stoked. Thanks for taking me here, mate.
Oh, mate, you did it all on your own. All I did is just come with you. That's great.
Mate, I was even the effort to retrieve it just made, the whole journey.
Yeah.
It was, part of the adventure. I just wouldn't have had it any other way.
Yeah.
It took me 6.5 hours to retrieve it.
It shouldn't be easy though, to make it enjoyable.
No. You have to question, up, down, and I'm just over the moon.
That is a real cracker. Yep, that is definitely worth a whiskey bottle. I'll bring the glasses.
I've got the bottle.
Sweet.
I can't wait to get home and just clean that up and get that mounted.
This is just the beginning of your Sambar journey.
Oh yeah. Mate, I'm already planning the next one. I can hear it in my head. I shot him and he was at 1200. I took the time to check, and I checked obviously on the GPS, and also checked on my rangefinder, just as confirmation. And then I went up, and where they're all bedding.
The stories and reflections continued throughout the night, and it's moments like these where hunting mates shed light on the unique experiences had throughout the day, a time to share learnings or to develop a new plan of attack. After all, I was still hot on the task at hand, and I had good feelings about day 4.
It's good to eat some real meat.
Oh, isn't it?
Instead of freeze-dried. Who said stag's tough?
I reckon that was absolutely tender. It was almost like you'd beaten it.